Hi guys, I hope you're well and welcome to the next vlog. Now in this particular vlog, I want to discuss meal frequency for fat loss and also for muscle building, because there's a small difference between the meal frequency recommendations you should apply to fat loss as opposed to muscle building. There's a couple of differences. I want to discuss in detail those differences and why you need to make those differences within this video. So let's firstly start with fat loss. Obviously the overall goal within the fat loss phase is creating that calorie deficit. We need to be burning more calories than we're consuming. In addition to that, we need to have sufficient protein to help preserve lean muscle mass, and you're performing weight training as the foundation of your routine to help preserve lean muscle mass, and then you're merely decreasing calories and or adding in additional cardio to continue creating that calorie deficit needed for fat loss. Now in regards to meal frequency within the fat loss phase, is actually very simple. All you need to do is focus on meeting your daily protein and calorie daily target, and then simply let your personal preference dictate how many meals you consume throughout the day, whether you have 2 meals or 6 meals. It really does not matter. Now you may be wondering, James, what about my metabolic rate? I've been told so many times in the past, maybe you've done your own research online and you've been sold this lie that you need to be eating every 2 to 3 hours. You think you should be eating 6 times a day to increase your metabolic rate. Well, the reality is your metabolic rate is broken up into 4 parts, none of which are influenced by meal frequency. The first is your basal metabolism, which is largely influenced by how much fat-free mass you have. Essentially, this would be how much muscle mass you have, also bones as well, and anything that isn't actually body fat. Obviously, this part of your metabolic rate is not influenced by meal frequency. The next part of the metabolic rate is the thermic effect of food. So essentially, it doesn't particularly matter whether you have 2 meals or 6 meals per day, the thermic effect will be exactly the same. The next thing to consider is NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is basically any movement not associated with exercise. It could be fidgeting, walking, or doing what I'm doing, waving my hands around a lot. This is NEAT. These are the calories you're burning on a day-to-day basis, which is not calories burnt through exercise. Once again, this is not influenced by how many meals you're eating throughout the day. And then finally, we have how many calories you're burning throughout exercise, and obviously that's not influenced by your metabolic rate. So in short, within the fat loss phase, it's very simple. Focus on letting your personal preference dictate how many meals you eat throughout the day, as long as you're meeting a well set up protein intake to preserve lean muscle mass, and then calories are set to create the calorie deficit needed for fat loss. That's really the key thing you should be focusing with regards to fat loss. The absolute carb to fat ratio does not matter. I wouldn't suggest going any lower than approximately 20% of your calories from fat, because fat is important for hormone production. But in short, just focus on your personal preference with regards to meal frequency within the fat loss phase. Just focus on meeting some well set up protein and calorie daily targets. Now, in regards to muscle building, it's slightly different, because within the muscle building phase, we have the goal of obviously being within the calorie surplus this time. Again, we need to be consuming more calories than you're burning to build muscle. There's a great quote from Layton McDonald that says you cannot build muscle out of wishful thinking and thin air, and that's so true. So we need to be in that calorie surplus, and we need to be consuming sufficient protein. So that needs to be the foundation first. But with regards to meal frequency within the muscle building phase, you don't want to be going any lower than 3 protein doses throughout the day, 3 protein meals spread out throughout the day. And the main reason for that is we need to focus on maximizing muscle protein synthesis. And that's one of the reasons why intermittent fasting can be a great tool within the fat loss phase. Again, there's nothing magical about intermittent fasting, but because you're having more calories later in the day, it can help blunt hunger, can make it easier for you to adhere to your calorie targets. It's fine fat loss. Whereas within the muscle building phase, we're trying to maximize muscle protein synthesis. So I wouldn't suggest going any lower than 3 protein meals throughout the day. So that's what you need to be focusing within the muscle building phase. Firstly, the calorie surplus. Remember, we need to be consuming more calories than we're burning. Make sure you're having sufficient protein, and then making sure you're having at least 3 protein meals spread throughout the day. And that's pretty easy for most individuals to do that. So there shouldn't really be too many concerns there. It's not like you have to have 6, 7, 8 meals per day. As long as you're having at least 3, you'll be maximizing muscle protein synthesis throughout the day. So thank you very much for watching. If you've still yet to subscribe to the channel, if you're watching this on YouTube, please do so don't miss an episode. And if you've enjoyed the video, please like it, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.